Hey guys, I'm the 50s Kid. I'd like to introduce you to Milwaukee's new M12 brushless 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch ratchets. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at them, so let's get started. I'm actually really excited about these. I've just got them in about a week ago. I've been playing with them as much as possible. So this is the 2557 and this is the 2556, so the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch versions. With the kits they sent me the dash 22 on the 1/4 inch. That actually comes with 2 batteries, and they sent me the dash 21 on the 3/8. That only came with 1 battery, but it actually comes with a protective boot, which is awesome. I mean, you usually have to pay like, I don't know, like $30 for these protective boots. Let me get this thing on. So I've been keeping it in the boot. I think they really understood that this tool especially was going to be used by professional technicians, or at least both of these. So they gave you the boot to help protect it, which I think is really awesome. I just wish they did it on this one too, but beggars can't be choosers. I love this thing so far. I mean, I loved the old thing, but let me tell you something. This is a substantially different tool. It's not a direct replacement for this. It's a new tool in and of itself. First of all, check out the height difference. These are both the 3/8 versions right here. So you can see you've got at least an inch more height, and that actually really matters when you're using the tool to kind of break fasteners free, which you sometimes have to do. You had to do it more so with this tool because this tool only had about 35 foot-pounds, whereas this tool now has 55 foot-pounds. So they give you a lot more power in here. And because this one actually has a brushless motor, you're actually going to get about twice the battery life out of it, from the same battery, which is really cool. Otherwise, function-wise, they're still basically the same tool. Paddle. This one actually has a brake in it, an electric brake now, whereas this one did not. That really doesn't matter, but I thought I'd point it out. The most noticeable thing about this, let me take this boot back off. The most noticeable thing about this is how much more substantial the head is compared to the old one. The old one, the old 1/4 inch version and the 3/8 version were literally the identical same tool. It just had a different anvil size. But now, between the two new versions, they're physically completely different tools, or the 3/8 is physically much bigger. It's still the same body, obviously, but physically it's much bigger, it's much more substantial. One of the problems that people had with the old one, I'm a member of a couple of like automotive technician groups and stuff, and I've just been reading how people would try to use this when they're doing brake jobs, and they would try to break brake caliper bolts free, and they would end up snapping the head off because it just, it's 35 foot-pounds. You're not supposed to try to break something that's 70 foot-pounds. Of course, people are going to try because you try to see what the limits of the tool are, and a lot of people found them. But this one is much more substantial. I actually talked to Milwaukee about this. I told them about this problem, and I asked them if they did any torture testing on the new ratchets, and they gave me some information which I want to relay to you. So I'm going to give you some maximum torque values on these. These aren't official, but they do come from Milwaukee's engineering team, and they want me to stress that these are like a one-time occurrence ordeal. And if you get close to that torque value repeatedly, it'll continue to put stress on the anvil, and it might eventually break at a lower torque value. So I just want you to keep that in mind. But on the 1/4 inch tool, you could actually do 60 foot-pounds. That is the max, right? On the 3/8, you can do 175 foot-pounds, which means that this thing is strong enough to break any brake caliper fasteners free or anything like that. This thing is now beefy, super beefy. They do make a 1/2 inch version of this new tool, which they didn't make a 1/2 inch version of this one before, and that 1/2 inch version can handle 250 foot-pounds. Again, you don't want to get up to that, but it's just to let you know how substantial these ones now are. Now, as far as the old tools, this old tool had 35 foot-pounds. The new one has 55 foot-pounds. That's in the 3/8 version. The old 1/4 inch version, which I don't have, had 30 foot-pounds. This one actually has 40 foot-pounds. I would say size-wise on the 1/4 inch, just again, this might as well be the old 1/4 inch. It looked exactly like this. It was the same height. The 1/4 inch is basically very, very similar. You get 10 more foot-pounds. You get twice as long a battery life, or almost twice as long a battery life. But other than that, it is basically the same tool. I think it's a little beefier, of course. But with the 3/8, you obviously get 20 more foot-pounds compared to the old tool. But I do want to mention that in order to get the higher power, they did have to slow the tool down just a little bit. So whereas this one did 250 RPMs, this one does 200 RPMs, which initially was gonna be a concern of mine. But in practice, I don't really notice it. This thing is still plenty fast. So I love it. I absolutely love it. I was thinking I might have to keep the old one around just because it might be that much faster and whatnot, but I really don't have to. Another reason I thought I might have to keep the old one around was because of the added power, believe it or not. At 55 foot-pounds, you know, if you're using this for like valve cover bolts, if you got like a 10 millimeter on this and you're just kind of doing valve cover bolts and you're tightening them down or something like that, something with 10 millimeter fasteners or 10 millimeter heads, I was concerned there is going to be a chance of snapping the fasteners because this thing is, you know, has so much power now. Whereas, you know, it wasn't really a concern with the old one. I just kind of knew with the old one that I was never going to over torque something, and then if I under torqued something, I could just use it like a ratchet and tighten it up just a little bit. That was my concern with the new one. I thought with the new one I might do some damage, but in practice, that's not the case. I kind of, you know, you kind of develop a feel for this tool after you're using it for a little while, and you kind of know when you're approaching the limit. You just kind of know with sound, you know with feel, you can just sort of instantly feel that, you know, okay, you're good now. And the fact that it has that brake means that you stop right where you want to stop, whereas, you know, you wouldn't exactly have that with the old one, but of course the lack of power made up for that. As far as keeping it clean, of course, if you use it regularly, they're going to get dirty, of course. I was really bad about not cleaning my old one ever, and I have attempted to clean it up a little bit. So this is the cleanest that it's ever looked in its life. And I got the new one, you know, just as dirty, and I did attempt to clean it up. You know, I use brake clean to clean most dirt off of everything, and that did kind of take the white off a little bit. You can see how this one has much more white right here, so just be aware of that. I mean, of course, the white was gone from my old one. I don't even remember if there was white on there, but it was gone from my old one a long time ago. Just be aware of that. That's just par for the course. One last thing I want to mention is the reversing knob. The reversing knob is actually slightly easier to turn. The old one was sometimes a little difficult, and sometimes it would kind of stick and you'd have to kind of push it a little harder. When you have the boot on, it does get a little more difficult to kind of get your fingers in there and twist it, especially if you're wearing gloves, you know, something thicker than like, you know, 5, you know, little nitrile gloves. But that is, that's something you can live with. And then lastly, the new one is definitely heavier than the old one, so hand fatigue may be an issue for you. In that case, you know, I would suggest getting both of these. You want to have both of them, really. This one you can use for valve covers and things where, you know, you only need fasteners that are like 8 to, I don't know, 13 millimeter. You know, grab for this one. This is the small one you can grab for it. You can use this one for basically everything bigger than that, or you can just use this one for everything. Up to you. I will leave that choice up to you. But there really is no choice. You got to get these. You got to get this one especially. I love this one. This one is my new precious. I think you're going to love this one too. If you love the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more. I'm the 50s Kid. Thanks for watching.